The Nature Photo Guys podcast is brought to you by our friends at the Camera Store, located in Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
It's our go-to spot for everything photography and video. Whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned pro, the Camera Store has what you need.
And the best part, they ship right across Canada with free shipping on most orders over $99.
The Camera Store is a legendary name in photography, so make sure to check them out today at camerastore.com.
Welcome to the Nature Photo Guys podcast,
where we talk about nature photography, from gear to our philosophies and everything in between.
So grab a cup of coffee, sit back and relax.
You're listening to Joe Desjardins
and Chris Gibbs, the Nature Photo Guys.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Nature Photo Guys podcast.
There is so much information in this episode that we're just going to get right into it. And it's all to do with Joe going so far north on a trip in July that he was this close to meeting Santa Claus.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah, right. So.
Well, yeah, none of this boring banter to start. This one's going to be a long one. So, yeah. So end of July, I ended up going up to Svalbard.
Nice.
Svalbard and then north of Svalbard on an icebreaker. So it was an absolutely epic trip.
Was it? Yeah. Where the heck is Svalbard?
So it's north of Norway, but east of Greenland, kind of northwest of Russia, certainly a lot further north than Iceland. So it's a group
long car ride.
No kidding. Well, Santa's sleigh, right? Got me there.
True.
So
well,
exactly.
Good. Thanks, Rudolph.
I did see some Svalbard reindeer too. So we'll get to that.
Good.
Anyways,
okay, sounds good. Yeah.
So
really north.
Svalbard is a group of islands, and so I flew there. I flew into Longyearbyen. That was kind of a almost not a 2-day, but I made sure I had some good overlays because flight delays and lost luggage, which happened. When I did get into Longyearbyen, both of my bags were missing, my checked bags.
No way.
And AirTags saved the day because I basically went up to the counter and said, "Here, look at this. One bag's still in London, at Heathrow, and the other one's in Oslo." And boom, boom, boom. I had.
They were actually separate. They weren't even in the same place.
No, they were separate. So obviously, I'm in panic mode. My carry-on. I had extra clothes and toothbrush and all that kind of stuff. But that had most of my gear, my winter clothes, my boot, like everything.
Sure.
Right? So basically, talked to them, and the next day I had both bags by 10 a.m. So
how many days early did you get there before you had to board the icebreaker? 2. Okay, that was good. I had 2. So I wanted to do that so I could explore Longyearbyen, which thank God I did because, I rented a car and what I saw was crazy. I mean, I'm just going to try and remember off the top of my head, but it was like the Svalbard Reindeer, the Arctic fox in their summer coat, they're just absolutely beautiful. Cool to see,
So many birds, like the Glaucous gull, Barnacle geese, Arctic tern, the red-throated diver, which is basically because of that specific area they call that, but it's a loon. And I'm trying really hard to think of what the loon is in North America, but it's the same one. You'll see a picture, but maybe we'll put it what it actually is.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, it's a gray loon with a nice red throat,
Okay.
I saw the parasitic Jaegers. I didn't see any Fulmars there, but I did see what else? Little Auks on the island too. So
wow. So this was all before you went on
this.
The
This is even before I boarded. So it's certainly worth it to spend a day or two before, and to explore the town and everything, and possibly run into a polar bear because as far as Longyearbyen is concerned, or Svalbard in general, I got the stats right here. The population is approximately 2,600 people.
Okay.
Polar bear population is approximately 3,000.
Holy crap. There's more polar bears than people.
And that's what they're saying when you're out there, like outside of the town, there's a good chance you'll probably run into a polar bear before you run into somebody else.
Is that right? Oh,
so it's crazy. But the Longyearbyen is surrounded with signs, and basically they don't want you going beyond certain signs unless you're with a guide.
So you didn't do too much hiking there?
No, God, no. I basically, beyond the sign, I stayed right beside my vehicle because you're in polar bear country. They want you to hire a guide, or you need to carry a rifle, or I think the minimum they want you to carry is a flare gun, and you can rent those in the town, right? So
it's even if you drive into those areas, or just
you could drive into those areas without any of that. But you basically open your door and shoot from your car.
Yeah, you stay right beside.
You're not
fair enough
hiking up to get this shot or that shot or that kind of thing.
That'd be silly, especially with that many polar bears. And did you see one out there driving around?
No, I didn't. Nothing on Longyearbyen. Everything I saw was when we were up in the pack ice and stuff.
Okay.
So,
fair enough.
But it was really cool. So as far as the seasons and everything go, like in the summer, the bears are often found like on the sea ice, right? North and east of the islands, right? The Svalbard Islands. They're following the seals. But winter and spring, some of the bears come closer to land, especially around the fjords, where the ice conditions allow them to hunt, right? But year round, they are present in Svalbard waters, moving along the ice edge. Right?
Sure.
So.
But basically, when you're in that area, you had to be careful with the polar bears. But that time of year, they were really on the sea ice. They weren't really. But obviously, you got to keep your eyes open still.
Yeah. So, a couple of cool facts about Longyearbyen. I just got them written down here. It's the northernmost town in the world with a permanent civilian population, which is really cool.
Cool.
It has no trees.
There's none?
No. Jagged peaks, endless ice, but in the summer it's 24-hour daylight. So talk about messing up your sleep and
no kidding
your body's, rhythm and everything else. So showing up a couple of days earlier, it was the second day I crashed for like 10 hours straight. Blackout blinds and everything. And then when I got up, I was really trying to get my body, syncing with the local time and everything. But 24-hour daylight. So that was an experience and a half. Of course, like I just said, rifles are required out of town. But, being the northernmost town, they do have shops, school, brewery. But here's an interesting fact. So there's no burials allowed in Longyearbyen because of the permafrost. So back in the day, they would actually bury the whalers and the fishermen, all this kind of stuff. But because of the permafrost, the bodies started to rise. To the surface.
That's not good.
And so, right now there's no burials. There's no cats on the island to protect the birds. And giving birth is also, I shouldn't say, I don't know if it's prohibited or against the law, but they basically, you have to fly to Longyearbyen to give birth somewhere else. So, so it's not going, you're basically, your birth certificate cannot say Longyearbyen. You're not a citizen of Longyearbyen. Yeah. So it was really interesting. I hope I'm not messing that up too much. I mean, obviously you can Google it and get a little bit more information and stuff, but it was pretty cool.
But there's hospitals and all that stuff if they have issues and doctors. But any of the more major scenarios, they got to kind of come off the island.
That's right. Like surgeries and all that kind of stuff. You have to leave. Leave
it's no different than, remote towns in Canada, really. I mean, at the end of the day, way up north, they got to come down to, if you're up in Northwest Territories, some of the scenarios, you may have to come down to Edmonton, right? So there's still some scenarios there too. So that makes sense. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But the town was awesome. Really cute encounter. It was called the Husky Cafe. Where I'd go for my lattes sometimes twice a day, and some of their baked goods and everything. But they basically had huskies walking around
actual
the coffee shop.
Husky dogs.
Actual husky, yeah.
Oh, really?
And if you weren't sitting on the couch, one was laying on the couch, one was on the chair, or they were playing on the ground. Like I was sitting at a table and the Huskies were rolling and banging the tables,
Really?
and they're very vocal dogs, right? So
sure, of course,
and it was just like I was dying. So,
wow. Like how many dogs were there in this place?
Well, at one time there was 2, and then I think another time there was 4. There was a couple in the cafe, and then a couple, near the bathrooms, and they were just walking around. So
I'm sure the signage and cool. everything and pictures were all
everybody
stuff,
knows,
right?
Yeah, everybody knows. So it was really cool. So
guess you wouldn't really go in there to work on stuff, on your computer.
No. It was just a really cool experience. So
that's cool.
And there's cool signage and shops, of course, outdoor shops. All the restaurants are really good, and the pubs, and major grocery store and stuff like that. So
nice.
Really cool, typical town. And then from there, we boarded the ship at about 4:00 that afternoon, and off we went. So this trip was trip of a lifetime, but also a scouting trip. Because I'm doing a workshop in 2026, and I really wanted to experience it first. So
it's always good to get the lay of the land and see that stuff before you run a workshop too, right?
It is because I don't know if truth be told, I don't know if anybody else does workshops without being there first.
Sure.
But for me, I've always got to at least visit it once or twice. Even my Churchill workshop, which sold out for 2026. I've been there a good couple of times. You know what I mean? To really experience it and get a feel for it. And so,
kind of know what to expect and get the lay of the land of the area. And, experiences, even weather conditions and what gear and all that kind of stuff. That's handy. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, boarded the ship. And then off we went.
So you literally like between the time you're meeting people on the ship and actually it moving, how much time was that really? Like, did you get
basically we got on safety, kind of, we went over the safety and everything.
Yeah.
And they were basically getting ready to go. That was it.
Wow.
We were gone. Whatever it took us to get boarded and luggage and get going, and off we went.
And then they'd explain everything once you got going.
Yeah,
probably.
For
they
sure.
Wanted to get moving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, your boots, your safety gear, your safety suit, that kind of stuff. But it was crazy. Give you a tour of the boat and your accommodations and stuff, and then off we went.
Nice.
I don't know what else to say about that. I mean, it was funny though. The first thing I saw, in the lounge area where you eat.
Yeah.
There was a table full of camera gear, and of course, every single one was Nikon. I'm like,
no.
So, in order to break the ice, because I didn't know anybody on there, right? I was like, who the hell put all this crap on the table? And everybody's looking at it. I'm like, I said, this Nikon stuff, right? And they're like, and they started laughing. I'm like, okay, really good group. And the whole trip was awesome. It didn't take long for them to start giving me a hard time and this and that.
Sure.
Just having a really good time.
Because they knew you were trying to have fun too, right? You were.
Yeah. It was just a fun time. So,
nice.
So it was incredible because basically put the stuff away, grabbed the camera gear, and I was ready to shoot. Oh
wow!
And just like any trip,
jeez.
Just like any trip, even leaving, port, I'm just like photos.
Right.
We talked about that. We talked about that, right? Remember in the recap, we're with our caribou trip, we got there, thousands of photos because we're not sure if we're going to see a caribou again,
Right. Yeah, exactly.
The same idea here. And
sure.
But these images in the beginning were just the
almost
water,
documenting stuff.
Yeah. Leaving the town and the fjords,
sure.
The views and everything else. And, seeing wildlife right away, as far as the birds, the birds, it was crazy just following you out there and everything else. Right. So
sure.
It was really cool, but,
how much crew is on this boat? Is there a bunch of people?
There's
is there just a few? Or?
12 photographers only. And, as far as my workshop goes, there's going to be a max 12. So small crew of photographers. So much room to photograph. And then there was the crew. So there was 2 captains that did 6-hour shifts. 2 awesome guides, Timo and Jens. They're just phenomenal people. Knew this stuff ridiculous. When we went out on the Zodiacs and stuff, they told us anything and everything we wanted to know.
Nice. So they kind of from that cool area, I'm assuming?
Oh, well, no. Yeah, Timo lives there. Jens lives, oh God. He was moving in a few places, so I'm not exactly sure where he is, but this is their livelihood, right? So
sure, so they know guides, the area
well. Different expeditions all over the world. So they were awesome. 2 cooks. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Oh, 2.
2 cooks, and everything was fresh. There was no store-bought bread or cookies or baked goods.
Awesome.
And everything was home cooked, fresh that day. And they really took care of you as far as any dietary concerns and stuff. So,
that's good.
For you,
they would have made
a chicken breast every day.
Right. Just a plain chicken breast. I could get that
with a little bit of lettuce and maybe some carrot sticks. You would have been good.
It's right up my alley for trips like that.
Well, it was good because I can't handle spicy food in my tummy, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then there was some 3 vegans, you know what I mean? So every meal they had like stuff with your name on it. Okay, or these are the vegan dishes over here.
Nice.
This is for everybody else. Joe, this isn't spicy, but this is. You know what I mean? Like just stuff like that. It was crazy.
So they're really concerned and took care of you. That's what you like to hear on a trip like that, right? A trip of a lifetime, that sure helps things for sure.
Absolutely, right? And then we had the engineers down below, making sure everything's running well and stuff. And that was about it.
So is that like
nice
8 to 10 people kind of thing, aside from the photographers?
Extra,
almost.
I would say 20-ish people.
Okay.
I don't think I'm forgetting anybody.
Sure. Yeah.
So it was really cool. Amazing. And so they encourage you to come up on the bridge and to help scout and look and cool. Stuff like that. So the crew was just amazing. Absolutely.
Is there anything particular about this ship? I mean, obviously it's an icebreaker to break the pack ice.
So that ship itself, which was the I'm gonna try really hard to say the name.
Okay, let's go.
The
SS Minnow.
Yeah.
Gilligan's Island.
Kuvishiten.
Wow.
Yeah, I really I butchered that one, but I'm sure there'll be a name somewhere on
we can put it on screen.
For sure. So for that size of ship, it had the highest icebreaker class. So we were able to get up there quite a bit into the pack ice. You know what I mean? Cool. So I think we ended up as far north as 82.3 degrees or something. So it was insane. So
you were up there.
What's that?
You were up there, that's for sure. So you didn't see Santa though?
No Santa. No reindeers up there either. No. Well, all the reindeers were in Svalbard, but or in Longyearbyen. So
I would assume they're not running on the ice.
Yeah. Imagine. But hey, let's just start talking about the wildlife. Obviously the biggest reason for the trip was polar bears, right?
Okay,
so,
not the birds.
Not birds. Yes, the birds also. Yes.
Oh, okay.
They were.
But yes, of course, the polar bears.
Yeah, of course.
That was the main reason. Yeah, for sure.
And polar bears on the pack ice, polar bears swimming, polar bears hunting. It was crazy, but the star, the star of Svalbard in the north were polar bears, king of the Arctic. That it was just so different than what Churchill is, because
that's what I was wondering.
Because Churchill, they're primarily on land, right? They're waiting for the ice to form. These polar bears are out on the pack ice, the ice,
right? And that's because of the time of year you went, I get, right?
That's right. That's right.
I mean, would you still see the same kind of? Yeah.
It's summer up there. So
fair enough.
So, a lot of open water. So that's why we have to go so far north to get into the ice, to get to the polar bears, right?
Okay. So would you see in the winter conditions, would there be a lot more polar bears on land then, or they're still going to be up on the ice?
You know what? That would be a question I'd have to research. Because this is the place. This is the only place I know for now, right? You know what I mean? Like as far as the areas I went, right? But
absolutely,
yeah. So really cool. Just a couple of polar bear facts, really quick. They are certainly built for the cold. Black skin. Their hair is hollow and transparent, right? So the hair does look white. It's basically based on the color of the light and everything, like what's reflective, right? These guys are big. I mean, they could get up to about
yes.
1,500 pounds and 10 feet tall. So they're massive predators for sure. But they're classified as a marine mammal because they spend most of the time in the water. Like they can swim up to like 100 kilometers plus without any rest.
That's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know National Geographic recorded one marathon session where a polar bear traveled over 400 miles.
Can you imagine? Jeez.
And the sad part of it was she lost her cubs,
right?
Because they couldn't keep up. But looking for ice, seals, food, that's kind of, I mean, certainly look at it, find the story online if you're really interested in that. But that was kind of the gist of it, right? So,
fair enough.
But their sense of smell is insane, dude. They can smell seals through 1 meter of ice and up to 20 miles away.
Can you imagine? That is unbelievable.
I can't even imagine that. Like, it's ridiculous. So, their sense of smell, I mean, it's obvious, they could smell the ship coming. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. So we had a couple of really cool encounters there. I'll chat about in a little bit.
Sure.
But the cubs at birth, they weigh approximately 1 pound, but they gain about was it 20 pounds in 3 months. So it's happening fast. Yeah, okay. Absolutely. So, but super cool, guys. I mean, I got photos of polar bears up on the on that nice blue sea ice. You know what I mean? I've got them sparring a little bit over some seals. Standing on the edge of the ice again with that nice blue. Nice reflections. I actually took some video clips too. Somebody asked me if it was actually a drone shot.
Because you're up high on the boat.
Yeah, so up on the bow, a couple of cubs came in so close that I basically just had my camera over, and as they were walking away, I was just panning up, right? And I was like,
nice.
Like looks like a drone shot, right? But
sure, it
was super cool. I mean, I did take a lot of video, which I haven't looked at yet because I'm just looking at it. So so these videos I'm talking about are basically taken with my phone. You know what I mean?
Like, Nice, which is still good. I mean, at the end of the day, you capture whatever you can. I mean, that's still great video, right?
It's all 4K 120. Like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
You don't have the zoom, like the zoom capabilities when you're at those settings, right? I think you can go, 2 times is the max or something?
So it is.
Or 1 times or whatever it is.
Sure even. Depends on the device though, right?
So for sure.
Whether it's Android or iPhone, they're going to be different. Yeah, for sure.
Well, this is the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So that was the limitation on that, right?
Sure.
So
yeah.
If I went into 60 frames, I could zoom in as far as I wanted. And of course, 24 frames, whatever the max is there. But then you're sacrificing the video quality, right? But
the digital zoom is a little different.
That's right.
You want to, and at the end of the day, I mean, when you're in these situations, just capture it, no matter what device you're using. I mean, it's the experience. So for sure.
It's the memories you want to keep on to, right? So
absolutely. How many cubs did you actually see there? Did you see them here and there, or were you seeing them quite a bit?
So that's one thing I'd have to sit down and really take a look at to see if they were the same from before, and that kind of stuff.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
We did see them multiple days.
Sure.
So I'd have to look, but you guys will see some of these cub photos. I'm sure somewhere in this podcast. So our very first encounter, if I recall correctly, because that whole trip, man, is a blur. Like, honestly, imagine, I would actually have to look at the time frame,
right?
The date and times to see what was actually my first encounter.
Sure.
But the first real encounter I remember was the guide spotted these bears where we couldn't even see with the naked eye yet. So they're always scouting with binoculars, and so these bears were like coming. So this is the ethics behind this. So these guys basically said, we see some polar bears.
Yeah.
We're going to stop. I'm guessing they're over a kilometer away or so.
Like stop the ship entirely, you mean?
So you're basically going to stop the ship, stay quiet, and see what the polar bears are doing.
Okay. That's nice. Yeah.
So we're not going in there full on trying to, get close, that's not how they work. So we stopped, and I got photos of, the mom and the cubs coming out of the fog, coming towards the ship.
Oh my
goodness. It was surreal, man. Jeez. Absolutely surreal. So that was my first encounter, with bears.
That's an amazing first encounter.
Well, it was because when we went up there looking, we were a day and a half without seeing any bears yet.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
And well, yeah, I mean, it's not like, okay, let's, drive up to the ice, and
they're just waiting for you.
They're just waiting for you. So, so that's what we did. Exactly. Right. It's about time,
right.
So that's what it was. And from then on, we had epic days of polar bears, and so fortunate, to have, oh my God, where do I start? Okay. We had the sow and her cubs, nursing. I mean, I watched the mom and the cubs feeding on the seal. Then they left that ice floe and then swam over to another one. And then I was like, okay, maybe they're ready to go and sleep, right? So then mom just basically turns over like this. The cubs come in and they're nursing. I'm like what the hell is going on here, right?
So you're like photo video, right?
You know what? I hope I got video. I got photos, those are in my presentation. I got photos and they're online, but are on Insta and Facebook, but I'm sure I got video too.
Yeah. Absolutely. But that's the dilemma, right? I mean, what do you capture for sure? As we've talked about all the time, right?
It is. I'm sure I did. So I'll have to take a look, but we got the bears jumping from ice floe to ice floe, got some single bears just, sitting there eating a seal, we never actually did see like the catch and kill, but the one encounter we had, it was so fresh that the seal was still whole. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and then they were starting into it. And I can't even tell you how many hours later or whatever, but they basically, what they do is they eat the blubber, the blubber where all the rich nutrients are, the organs. It's surprising that the meat is probably last if they really need to eat that.
Oh, because they want to fatten up.
Yeah, so they eat all the other stuff. And basically at the end, the skin is all rolled up. Like they peel it pretty much. You know what I mean? And then to get to everything on the inside. So basically you got the skin rolled up on the ice and then whatever's left, as far as the carcass goes. Because so many animals and birds, I shouldn't say animals, so many birds depend on that what's left. Especially
they feed off of it.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Ivory gulls really depend on that. So, but cubs together, we got polar bear sitting on his rump looking up like, what am I going to do today? And then, of course, some environmental images of, the polar bears showing, all of the pack ice and feeding and laying there, walking over ice floes. I really wanted to get that shot of that bear coming up, posing with all the blue ice. So I got that a couple of times. So it was like, so one of the guys that were with me, Neil, we're side by side. I'm talking out loud, I guess, because I didn't even realize. I'm going, okay, turn. Because he was climbing the ice floe, right? I'm like, turn. And then it's like, I'm like, and he was going, man, you called it, eh? It's like, stick around. I'll call out whatever you want, right? So,
there you go.
So basically, I got the shot that, I don't know if you see it quite often, but, you kind of pre-visualize images that you want, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then, at the end of the one session, mom went over onto the ice floe, one of the ice floes herself, and the cubs were over there, and she just kind of laid down, and we were kind of leaving. And so I got her drifting away asleep on the ice floe. So anyway, it was super cool, man. But the interactions between mom and cubs and everything else. Yeah.
That's awesome. So I got a question for you. You're talking about regarding ethics. You were talking about when you see a polar bear, you kind of just stop the ship and let, see what they're going to do. You don't want to disturb them in the situations where, did you get your shots and then they kept going versus you don't want to disturb them when you leave as well. Right. So how is that a battle that the guides kind of go through there?
It wasn't so much, okay, let's get the shots and go. So the guides know animal behavior.
Okay. Because you don't want to disturb them. So you got to be careful.
Exactly.
There, right?
So they were constantly monitoring all the animals that we saw. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So even the walrus encounters, which I'll talk about in a bit. But so as long as we weren't stressing, we weren't impeding on them hunting, eating, sleeping, we stayed. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
And then,
enough.
yes, at certain points where, they think, things might, maybe we are kind of not disturbing them, but, it looks like, it's time to leave. Then they're like, okay, guys, everybody pack up. We're leaving. We'll go and explore another area, right?
No, that's great. Yeah. Like even I was thinking, even when they're nursing, for example, it's a peaceful time. You don't want to like up and leave and move the ship and you're disturbing them there. So you kind of hang out there, right? Yeah.
And you got to remember though, how far we were. Like these images look like we were right there, but people have to understand, like exactly. Shooting full frame, 500 with a 1.4 teleconverter and then cropped in and everything else.
Yeah, you're not beside them.
No. So, a lot of images on social media make it look like you're basically on top of these animals.
Yeah, and we're not. We're
certainly
not at all.
No. So it's, and then we got them, resting and sleeping and just fun stuff. And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds like you got them in all different scenarios. That's pretty cool.
It was crazy. And because it's 24-hour daylight, there's still kind of like sunset and nighttime. So we still got some really dramatic stuff with light. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Got a polar bear walking the sea ice and, the sun coming in and like just kind of lighting up the scene and stuff like that. So yeah, polar bears, it was a really, really good polar bear, a lot of polar bear encounters. So nice. It certainly, made the trip because at one point, and see, this is, another cool thing about the guides. We saw some polar bears, but, we could have left a day or two early to head back to check out some walrus colonies and stuff like that. But he basically took all 12 of us and asked us, like, do you want to stick around for another day or so for the polar bears, or do you want to go and explore other types of, animals and stuff like that? And everybody's hand went up. Yeah, we'll stay for polar bears. So
it's a team decision. That's pretty cool.
And it is, so don't get me wrong. We left with plenty of time to see other things, but we were all there for polar bears, right? So it was pretty cool. So
that's a cool thing about these workshops, right? I mean, even our workshops, we always make sure that the team is getting what they want out of it. And if there's a different direction that they all want to go, then we go in that direction, right? So that's awesome that you guys were able to do that as well in this experience. So
yeah, it was. And it'll be like that next year too. So
nice. Yeah, that's awesome.
Because I just got informed that one of my guides is coming back. He's definitely coming. He messaged me. He says, "Oh, it looks like I'll be on your ship next year." And I'm like, "Oh, right on."
Sweet.
Because such a cool guy. They're both awesome. Super cool. Yeah. This one coming back looks like a Viking. So. Yeah. Timo. Yeah. He's just amazing. Amazing guy too. And Anyway, so that's where we're at. And then so the next big animal that we saw were walruses. So we didn't have a whole lot of time with them, but it was still super cool. And just a really couple of quick facts about, walruses.
Sure.
Both males and females do have tusks, and they are used for, to portray dominance, hauling out onto the sea ice, and defense. But these guys are massive. Okay. You thought polar bears were big. Some of these guys can get up to 2,600 pounds.
What?
Okay.
That's crazy. So like how long are these guys? Are they quite big too? Like in length? Or not
so sure? I didn't really get the length, but I was just like floored.
But they're heavy, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. They are the largest pinnipeds out there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
When you compare them to all the others, right? So
yeah, they're big.
But they're social giants too. So the walruses haul out in huge, noisy groups. On beaches and ice floes. And they're often packed shoulder to shoulder. So you'll see a couple of these images about like, what I mean, right? So, but yeah, they're basically, they call them like the Arctic specialists. Their thick blubber keeps them warm in freezing waters, and they can dive up to about 80 meters, right, to the seafloor.
That's crazy.
For clams and that kind of stuff, right? So,
for sure.
So I got a couple of images of walruses. They were on the beach, but so again, guides awesome. When we approached them, they kind of charged off the beach into the water, kind of towards us. So we made a hard left out of there.
Like aggressive charge kind of thing?
No, we're not even sure. We're not even sure what happened because that's not normal behavior.
Okay. Yeah.
So guides thought maybe there might have been a polar bear on that island somewhere, and they were super edgy or
edge.
something like that, or something happened the day before that we weren't aware of,
Sure.
But still super cool. Got images of them coming off the beach, in the water, and that kind of stuff.
Amazing.
And going back to shore and that sort of thing. So
very cool.
Very cool. So the majority of my images were either water or sky. Because even though it wasn't very a lot of waves, you're on the Zodiac.
Oh, like only water or only sky.
Exactly.
I see what you're saying.
So you're shooting like 20 frames per second, and you're just like, I think I got it. It's like, so I mean that's why no monopods, tripods, anything like that on the Zodiac, because if you're solid to the boat, you're still moving anyways, right?
Yeah. So it completely handheld then from there.
It's all handheld. And I'm kind of over exaggerating a little bit, I would think.
Sure.
But you did get a lot of that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so you're
enough.
Trying to,
Probably especially when they dove into the water, probably created a bit of waves there too,
Yeah.
I guess,
I mean, we had what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 20, 30 of them just all at once. Come into the water, right? So so that was a cool experience. So you certainly got to learn, how to deal with that, right? So
for sure.
But super fun. It was a really, really cool encounter.
When you were on the Zodiac, did you have your gear covered or anything like that for splashing, or what did you do?
So they
there?
recommend a dry bag. But that day, based on conditions and everything else, basically I just had my f-stop bag and my 2 lenses out. So actually, so the guides take care of all that. They just load you in your suits. The suits are mandatory. They're like a flotation warm suit, right? Like a big skidoo suit.
So you fall out or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. And then they hand you your gear and off you go. I had muck boots on, just in case it was waving, water coming in.
Sure.
Which are basically warm neoprene boots, right? And,
did they supply those for you, or do you have to bring your own?
No, so I brought the boots. There's a rental company in Longyearbyen that you can rent boots, so you don't have to lug them across, halfway across the world to get there. I just wanted to bring mine because I was still underweight as far as
good. You were able to fit
on.
them in,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And of course, I used them to stuff other gear in them and stuff. So it wasn't a big, huge inconvenience, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's how I got my jam back from Newfoundland.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So
I double wrapped them in Ziplocs and then stuffed homemade jam into the toes.
Into the toe, for sure.
And they made it fine because the jam was amazing there. Anyway,
for sure.
Getting off topic a little bit. But no, it was great. We had really good weather like the whole trip. So
nice.
But
like anything, you got to prepare for whatever could happen, right? For all the different weather conditions. So.
Oh, for sure. I had all kinds of stuff just in case for that, right?
Good.
You know what I mean?
Do they have extra clothing on the board on ship just in case, or no? They were really relied on you bringing what you needed.
That's right, but they had those suits, and you could use them at any time. It wasn't just for the Zodiac encounters. Like, you could, if it was nippy up top, and you just wanted, instead of getting all dressed, I'll just throw this suit on and go out. You could do that too. Like, I got lazy about 2 days into the trip because every day I was like tying up my my hiking boots and going out, and it was comfortable. So I just decided to take my muck boots and flip them, so I made like short boots, and I could just slip in and out. So just like, screw it, I'm just gonna do that, and then
keep that old.
It was just easy. Yeah, for sure.
And the suit, did you have the suit like a for you, or did you have to grab?
Yeah, we all had our individual like kind of locker areas. So you had your suits.
Okay, good.
And so when
if there was somebody that was like 6'5", you go grab that. That might be an issue.
Right. Yeah. And then you had the life jackets, right? The inflatables. So you had your suit, then you had to put the life jacket on, right?
Nice. Awesome, man.
And then get to go. Yeah, it was awesome. Nice and comfortable.
We just want to take a quick break to give a shout out to our title sponsor, The Camera Store in Calgary, Alberta.
The Camera Store is where we go for all our photography and video gear. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned professional, they've got you covered.
Plus, they ship right across Canada with free shipping on most orders over $99. You can find everything you need at thecamerastore.com.
I did talk about some of the other wildlife I did encounter. I'll get back to that for a sec, but some more of the stuff that we saw out on the ice. The bearded seal.
Okay.
It was really cool. I mean, my first encounter with them, I mean, I didn't realize how big they were as an adult, right? I mean, obviously they're small well, actually, I'm going to talk about that. But the bearded seal is the largest seal in the Arctic, and they can weigh up to about 800 pounds, 900 pounds. Yeah.
It's a big seal.
And of course, bearded seals are, because of their white whiskers, they come out. Like, we actually saw some that actually curled, you know what I mean?
Oh, that's awesome.
You know what you had?
I've been trying that for a long time, but I had to shave it off a little bit. Kind of got out of control.
But the whiskers help detect prey. Like on the seafloor, they're very sensitive, right? So, because they're mainly bottom dwellers, right? They feed on like clams and crabs and shrimp and stuff like that. Nice. They do have a distinct singing and trilling call. Really? So, and they can be heard from miles underwater. So, but they are critical prey for polar bears and Inuit hunters. So, without them, bears don't survive. That kind of stuff, right? So,
seals are important.
What we did see that was really unique, the guide said, at that time of year and everything, was the hooded seal.
Oh yeah,
and oh my God, we actually got some cool images. And again, I didn't get video.
Sure,
but a couple of friends of mine got the video. I got the photos of the hooded seal coming off the edge of the ice into the water with a nice blue reflection and stuff. Super happy I got the image of that. But would have been cool to get the video of that. So
at the end of the day, like anything, as long as you capture it somehow, you got it. Right? So,
the video's up here. Like, you know what I mean? I remember the whole sequence and everything else.
Exactly.
It was really cool. But the thing about the hooded seal, so it was rare. I mean, I remember when the guide saw it, they came running down. Looks like a hooded. So everybody went out to photograph, the hooded seal, right? So
nice.
But what's cool about them is that the males inflate a balloon-like sac in front of their nose to display. So you could see it, coming out, right? Like it's kind of a really unique thing.
Neat.
And they expand a bright red nasal bladder too to attract females and scare off rivals, right? But listen, okay, so this is what really got me. I mean, they are before I tell you the really super cool fact, they are powerful divers and they can reach depths of through the 3,300 feet or 1,000 meters.
Wow, that's
insane. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah,
but the pups, listen to this. The pups, they have the shortest nursing period of any mammal. Okay. The pups are weaned in just 4 days.
What?
So
that is 4
days. So listen to this. Pups gain weight at a record speed, packing on 15 pounds per day.
What? That is unbelievable.
How that makes sense, I have no idea, man. Like none. I didn't research the biology any further. When I was looking at, getting these cool facts for the presentation and the podcast, that blew my mind. So basically 4 days, see ya, good luck. Hope you make it, I guess.
Can you imagine somebody documenting the birth to like a weekend and seeing that change? Like, that is unbelievable.
Yeah, that's insane. So super cool.
No kidding.
So as rare as the encounters are, we did see them. We did see about 5 different hooded seals.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. So it was great. Like, it wasn't.
So it's not as rare as they were saying, or they were surprised too, or what?
Well, we kind of made fun of that. Like, oh yeah, really rare. But no, I mean, that's how fortunate we was to see 5. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So it was really cool.
Very cool.
There were some other types of seals, harp seals, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if we saw any ring seals, but those are the 2 major ones that I really wanted to show. We actually got a photo of one of the bearded seals on the ice, and you can see all this scarring and everything on the side of his face. So I'm thinking
he escaped.
He escaped a polar bear encounter, that's for sure. So
for sure. Crazy, man.
So one of the birds I really wanted to see was the Atlantic puffin. Okay.
Yeah.
And these guys that were on the ship with me, guys and girls, like I say guys general, like, people that were on there.
The group of people.
They've all seen puffins.
Okay.
But I became obsessed with puffins
to the point where,
to the point where Neil created a little graphic of me calling me Joe the Puffin Man. Like it was done through Chat GPT. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So the puffin was kind of like on my shoulder, and like it was pretty fun.
That's funny.
And that's the group, right? Like that's how fun the group was, right? You know,
sure.
so
yeah.
So I did get some shots. I did get some shots of the puffins, and of course I was making sure I got pictures of all the birds that I saw.
Sure.
Just so I could tell my birding friends, well, hey, I got these unique species.
I'm a birder too.
Yeah, I'm a birder too, you know? So, but no, super fun.
So you got the puffin like really up close sitting there, like the pose you see from Newfoundland,
you know I did. Right? You know I did. That's why you're saying that. My God. No, I chose instead to do the environmental images.
Oh, yeah. Well, choosing environmental, you know, people need to see them in their environment for
Absolutely.
sure.
Yeah. You know,
Good
so
call.
as far as getting my nice close pose puffin shots, no. But
no.
A few cool things about these puffins. You know, they're nicknamed the clown, you know, of the sea because of their colorful beak, right?
Yeah.
You know, they breed in the burrows of the cliffs and you know, the grassy slopes and stuff, but they can dive up to 60 meters.
Oh wow.
Which is I don't know, just over 100 feet, around 100 feet or something like that.
Crazy.
But their beaks, the color, like it fades in the winter and it brightens up again in the spring, right? So, but they flap their wings rapidly up to 400 beats per minute.
Jeez.
And they basically fly underwater, right? You know what I mean?
So, I see.
Super cool. Yeah, I guess you'll see some of my images. They kind of suck, but anyways, I'm just like...
You saw one. That's all that matters.
I
did.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I shouldn't say they suck. I mean, don't get me... I mean, I did, like you said, I did capture them. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I did get, you know, some of them running, you know, as they're trying to lift off and stuff. But
sure. I think it's a different situation than the coast of, you know, in Newfoundland or whatever, where they're like literally, 10 feet away sometimes from people. So that's what I'm
hoping for. And I know you're hoping for that in the future too. Maybe a trip there for the gannets and the puffins and, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. In a different season there. Because Newfoundland was so amazing.
Right.
Definitely we want to go back in a different time for sure to see other things that were during season. We were a little off season there, but but at least you were able to capture it. So that's awesome, man. Good.
That's right. I got my puffins. So
there you go. Puffin man.
When we got to the bird cliffs.
Do you know the Puffin man? The Puffin man. The Puffin man. Sorry, I just had that. Anyways,
I wonder if anybody knows about the Muffin Man. Yeah, okay, the bird cliffs. Guillemots. So these, you know, I would say that I wouldn't say thousands. I would say there's tens of thousands of these birds on these bird cliffs.
Jeez.
And, you know, they basically said, put your hood up, you know, cover anything you don't want to get bird poop on.
Right.
And we got right up close, and I mean, they were flying. Oh, it was crazy, right?
So you didn't hold your lens straight up, I guess. Eh?
Yeah, no, none of that. No, I did get a little bit on my camera bag, and I thought, oh, you know, it's not gross, but maybe a little bit of like, oh, there's a reminder of my trip, right? You know,
you left it there.
I mean, whatever. But a couple cool facts, right? They nest in huge colonies, of course, on the sheer cliffs. The chicks, you know, they leap into the sea at 3 weeks old. You know, basically before they can fly. Yeah, I mean, they were all around us in the water on the cliffs. You know. But they're excellent divers, right? They can dive up to 150 meters. Crazy. That is insane.
That is insane.
You know, really rapid wing beats again. You know, like the puffins. I don't think as fast, but you know, just as them. But but in North America, these guillemots are also called a thick-billed murre. So you know, these birds aren't just native to you know. That area, right? Svalbard and you know, all the fjords and that area. So that's another name for them. So you know, got pictures of them flying and some video of them, you know, up in the bird cliffs, and the noise is just overwhelming. You know what I mean? And it smelled really pretty too. So
I can imagine.
Basically, the dark rock and cliffs were quite white. You know, so
I see.
There's a lot of a lot of that.
Full of something, that's for sure.
Yeah, full of something. So really cool birds. Again,
so the sound was like ear piercing, or was it just like?
Well, it was just super loud. Like it was it was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. It
like
wasn't
everything
to the point where
screaming all
you
the
needed
same
like
time.
earmuffs or anything, but
okay.
Yeah, it was cool to see. So
nice.
The next one was the northern Fulmar. They're found across North Atlantic, North Pacific, and again, they often nest in the steep cliffs above cold, nutrient-rich waters. Right.
Okay.
But here's the super cool thing about these birds. They
Okay.
possess a tube-like nostril, and you can see it distinctively on the beak, even when they're flying around, right?
Okay.
That helps excrete salt, right?
Okay.
And they gives them a distinct, like petrol look, right? But when threatened, okay, these Fulmars will spit a foul-smelling, like stomach oil, which is effective against the predators, right? And kind of they could be
the defensive
unlucky
mechanism kind of thing.
Yeah, and it could be unlucky for you. I mean, if they fly above, because they were sticking around us quite a bit. So,
nice.
Fortunately, none of us got it, but yeah.
Good thing that wasn't on your camera bag.
Yeah, that would have been kind of yucky, but
might not have saved that one.
Yeah, that's right. Where's the bleach?
No kidding.
But there were quite a bit of them around, flying around, and they fly and they glide similar to an albatross. You know what I mean? So that they can glide for hours effortlessly, right? So, but once rare, it says their numbers exploded in the 20th century thanks to access to fishery waters or fishery waste, right?
Okay.
And but climate change is now possessing a threat again. So yeah, that's the northern Fulmars. So really cool bird. So the next one. These parasitic Jaegers, okay, and they basically they're called a-holes, they're just they're that kind of bird.
They're pests.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So they nest in the tundra across the Arctic Circle, and they migrate as far south as South America and Africa in winter.
Okay, yeah.
But they're known for harassing gulls and terns and other seabirds until they drop their catch, right? And I got to see that. Yeah. Okay, I got to see 3 of them harassing a kiloweight in the middle, like just off the ship. And I mean, feathers flying and everything. Just
you're kidding.
That was it, right? I'm like, because they first attacked the killer on the water, and then they took the flight, right? So I can understand why they call them a-holes, for sure.
So they targeted this specific one and wouldn't let up.
Wouldn't let up till it got away, but feathers. And now I'm not sure if what it had that they wanted or whether they were just attacking it specifically, right?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
But they come in the different colors. They're light and dark, intermediate color forms. So sometimes it's confusing to birders and photographers. So, but while piracy or stealing of whatever food source they have, they'll also hunt like lemmings, small birds, and catch fish directly. So I actually got to see some of these Fulmars on land in Longyearbyen eating other birds.
I see.
It was crazy. Yeah, it was super. I thought it was super cool because I'm capturing natural behavior.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I got photos and video and stuff like this, right? But
nice.
it was really cool. So
very cool.
Parasitic Jaeger, yeah. So nice. I wish I could say what they actually are, but I want to keep this.
I think people can
friendly.
PG friendly.
Yeah, PG friendly. So now remember I said we had some a rare encounter with a hooded seal,
right? Well,
we had them coming down saying, "Hey, there's an ivory gull." Out there. And that's quite not rare, but like the encounters aren't happening all the time when you have polar bears, right?
Okay.
So it was really cool to see these ivory gulls. Got some pretty nice photos with them on a seal kill, and then just a few of them out in the white snow and stuff, and with the polar bears and stuff like that. So,
nice.
But they primarily live entirely on the pack ice.
Okay.
And they breed farther north than almost any other bird, up to 82 degrees north. Right.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah.
But they're often found near polar bears, scavenging leftovers from seal kills. Right.
Cool.
So, but yeah, the reason why they're ivory gulls is they're completely white with black legs, and they have just a little bit of a yellow tip on the bill. So, Very cool looking.
So
birds.
is it like a seagull here or no?
Oh, don't you even say that. Seagulls. Oh my God. Yes. Similar.
I'm not a birder, but I just wanted to put a little bit of a jab out to the birders.
Oh yeah. To the birders. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So
the Arctic terns. Okay. Arctic terns. They hold a record for the largest migration of any bird, up to 70,000 kilometers annually.
Gee.
Okay. They see 2 summers each year in the Arctic and Antarctica. And they can live 30 plus years, traveling 2.4 million kilometers in a lifetime.
That is
so these guys are insane.
I don't even know how to, that's crazy. Yeah.
So, but here's the thing, like these guys aggressively, defend their nests and they dive bomb everything. So those encounters I had with the Arctic fox and the terns, like these foxes would hunt their eggs, right? So they'd be all amongst the rocks and you see the foxes going and looking and these Arctic terns would come down and nail them on the back of the head, nail them on the body. So the Arctic fox was like, you know what I mean? But keep on going. It did not bother them. Like it was just like
they're so used to it. It's a regular occurrence for them.
I actually drove down one road and I didn't realize I'm in like Arctic tern area. Excuse me. Yeah. And so, I guess there's, eggs and whatever and nests and these, my car was red. So these terns would come down above me and nail the front of my car. Like bang, bang. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So there actually had signs with a person and a stick. And like a motion of the stick going like this. Cause while you're walking through there, they recommend you doing that to prevent the terns from nailing you.
Oh, you need the hockey stick like in the Rockies with the parks got there.
Well, yeah, with the elk, right? So that's what they're doing. Like it was insane, man. Absolutely insane. So very cool birds though. And often you see them hovering above the water, right? There's some of the smaller ponds and stuff. And feeding on fish and invertebrates and that kind of stuff. So we got them. It was so hard to get them like diving that getting them hovering was easy enough. I mean, it's still difficult.
Sure.
But I was trying to predict where they were. So it actually focused on that piece of water and then got them there. So that's how I got the images of them actually diving into the water and coming up. Was
because there's no way of you tracking this thing.
Oh, well, I mean, when they're ready to go, they're done. You know what I mean? So, so that's how I was able to get, so a little bit of a photo tip there. That's how I was able to get those images of them hitting the water and coming back out. So
nice.
But yeah, super cool birds.
Great tip.
The Glaucous gull, that looks like your typical seagull for all you birders out there. But these guys can live up to 40 years. They glide, effortlessly again in strong winds and stuff. They are related to the albatross. But they are a little bit smaller, right? They will defend their nests, and these guys will spit foul-smelling stomach oils at intruders too. Wow. And they often follow ships, for scavenging scraps, right? Of course, I mean, I've got again, this is one of my first encounters, and these Glaucous gulls. One was feeding on a barnacle goose. So,
really?
But speaking of barnacle geese, it was insane. Like we had them all over. Like we had a flock of 200 or so or more, kind of crossing in front of us. So I got not in front of us, in front of me. So I got a short little video there. Like it was like a traffic jam. It actually made the local paper in Longyearbyen on the news or whatever it was. Yeah, I don't know if it was local paper, but yeah, for the amount that were there. You know what I mean? So, very, I mean, they look like a Canada goose, you know what I mean? But, a little bit different coloration and stuff. But I've seen multiple times, Glaucous gull with a barnacle goose, Arctic fox with a barnacle goose.
Really?
I think maybe because there's so many,
it must have been pretty big for the Arctic fox.
Sure. Well, yeah, exactly. And of course you'll see that image there, but it was really cool. So barnacle geese and traffic jam, it was fun, but
nice.
Just really cool to see. These other birds that were on the Longyearbyen, on the Longyearbyen, on Longyearbyen.
Okay. Yeah.
We're called little auks. So they're one of like the smallest seabirds. I mean, these things they're so cute. Like,
okay.
But they form colonies up in like the Scree, and stuff like that, Scree slopes, with millions of pairs nesting. Like, so they're quite abundant, these ones, right? And they mainly feed on like plankton and crustaceans and stuff like that. Incredible flyers though, despite their little wings. But I didn't even see them. Like when I pulled over, I didn't even see. I heard them, and like all I seen was this stuff like going in the Scree, and they blended well. I'm like, what? And it was just flocks, just going in and coming out, going in and coming out.
Kidding.
So it was a timing thing, really fast shutter speeds, and just like hope. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it was hard to lock focus because they blended in with the background so well, right? So I would wait for them to come out to like the skyline or come out to certain areas, and then once I could lock on, when they came across the Scree slopes, I would still be in focus, right?
Gotcha.
But super cool birds. But they are a key source, like a food source for Arctic fox and gulls.
They are. Okay.
So So
sounds like there's plenty for them. So.
I mean, little auks are so cute. So just I was able to. Some of them did come close enough that I could get them flying in and landing, and you know what I mean.
Good.
So they could get a better idea of what they look like, right? So,
sure.
But there were other birds there, that kind of stuff, but. These were the primary ones that I had an opportunity to shoot, right? To get some images of, right? So, but I don't even know how to describe this because it was such an amazing experience for me. We're going to talk, about mammals back out in the water, and my first fluke. Okay, like when whales fluke, that's when their tail comes out of the water.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
and was the blue whale, and the blue whale is the largest, animal on Earth, right? Over 30 meters long. They can grow up to 100 feet and weigh up to 180 tons. So bigger than any dinosaur that ever roamed the Earth. Okay, so that's how big these guys are.
What did you think when you first saw this thing? Like, geez, that's gotta be huge.
This picture says it all because my first encounter with a blue whale, our guides got us in position so I could get the whale with like fluking. I don't know if that's the right way of saying fluking, but with the fluke in front of a blue glacier.
Oh, wow.
So,
that was awesome. They worked with you with that like that. That's pretty cool.
Well, and they know, amazing. Right? And you were nowhere near close to the whale because
you were so far away.
Oh, absolutely. So we're coming around, and then Alex, he's a whale guy. Alex Brenner, he runs whale tours all over the world, and orcas, and swim with the whales and stuff. And he could tell us how many minutes in between, or approximately how many minutes in between, and this and that and everything else. And it was cool because you could kind of wait and kind of predict where they were. But oh my God, we had a fluke in front of blue glacier ice. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like,
no kidding.
What more can I ask for? Right. And then I did get one where, the tail's coming out and all the water's coming off and stuff like that.
Wow.
So it was super cool. I mean, what more can I say about the photo ops? But these guys, as big as they are, primarily just feed on krill, and they can consume up to 4 tons of krill a day.
Wow.
Like how does that,
I don't know. That's unfathomable. Like, how do you,
that's and that's it. Like, for sure. But they're found in all oceans. But they follow the rich feeding grounds, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
They can dive over 500 meters, and their calls are louder than any jet engine. Okay. So their calls can cross the entire ocean basin.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Again, I can't even comprehend that. So,
it's
but
they were down there.
Oh, absolutely. But they were nearly hunted to extinction in the 20th century, but they're slowly recovering under international protection, but they're still endangered. So,
Sure. Fair enough. I think it's just pretty darn cool that the guides, like, I mean, I know we talked about this, but the guides know, and they're able to put the ship in position for you to get these photo ops. That's pretty cool of them to know that. It's one thing to see it there, but actually be able to position in front of the glacier.
And it's not like
that's
they're
amazing.
Turning a 180 and like, you know what I mean? Get you in 5 minutes. It takes time to get you in position. So they have to predict behavior. And then again, awesome. You're hoping that the whale does come in front of the glacier. Like, they just put you in the best possible position to get the behavior, right?
So I'm sure aside from the whales, it's probably like that for everything that you were seeing out there too, right? So that's awesome that they're able to work with you guys on that. So anyways, I just wanted to mention that again. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's cool. So the other ones, the Minke whales, they were quite common. We did see quite a bit of them. Their average length is 7 to 10 meters. So definitely smaller. Okay. They're found in, all the oceans, too. But they use the bailing plates, to gulp up, schools of small fish, krill, plankton. So they often lunge feed in bursts of speeds, so they're, they come up to some, they go, right. So, sure. But like most other whales, they're still fished commercially.
Oh, they are.
So they're allowed to be, they're allowed to be,
so they're not
hunted,
endangered,
right?
I'm assuming.
Pardon me? No, the population is relatively stable. Yeah, you bet.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
So I didn't get too many photos. I mean, you basically just see them kind of
right.
Kind of so
sure.
fin.
It's almost like photographing dolphins kind of quickly, like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and then the fin whale, second largest, can grow up to 27 meters long and weigh up to 80 tons, which makes it a lot smaller than the blue whale. But they're among the fastest ones. So they can reach speeds of up to 35 kilometers an hour. Up to 35 kilometers an hour. Asymmetrical jaw coloring, so white on the right, dark on the left. They thought it's used to confuse prey, but they can dive up to 200 to 400 meters and can stay submerged under for about 20 minutes. See, some of the other whales were 5 to 6 minutes. So you can kind of predict, you know what I mean? But this one, 20 minutes,
okay. A little harder to get photos of those guys.
That's right. Yeah. So, they were severely reduced in numbers by 20th century whaling, but the population is now slowly increasing under protection, right? So, the photos I have here of the fin whale were drone shots taken by Alex Brenner. So these are not my photos. I do have a few. I haven't even looked at them. I think they turned out okay, but I just want to give Alex the credit for these. So
absolutely,
just so you guys can have the shots. And the same with the last whale here, which is the beluga whale. Everybody knows what a beluga whale looks like, but they're found in the Arctic and subarctic waters. They travel in pods, they click and whistle and, create songs or do songs, under the water, that kind of stuff. They have white skin and they don't have a dorsal. So it helps them blend into the sea ice and maneuver under it. You know what I mean? So, I guess it's not bumping it, right? But they're highly social. They approach boats, interact with humans and that kind of stuff underwater. But they are vital to indigenous Arctic people for food and tradition. But the population is facing a threat from climate change and pollution. So
they are,
but again, I got a really cool image here of taken with the drone shot. I've got those shots of white coming out of the water. You know what I mean? These little things. So, but this drone shot was absolutely beautiful. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you betcha.
Very cool. Do the polar bears, do you know if the polar bears hunt the whales as well, or like the belugas or anything like that? They do.
I mean, if they have an opportunity to take a whale, I mean, I've seen photos of them with whale carcasses, that have washed up in shore and stuff.
Yeah, I've seen that
to actually hunt the beluga, I would assume so.
Okay.
Some I'd have to research, but
I wasn't sure either. So
so we got to see those two. So
good.
Crazy, man, absolutely crazy. Just want to touch base really quick on two more animals here. I did mention them earlier, and that was the Arctic fox. I saw them on Longyearbyen, right? So they just a couple of quick facts. seasonal camouflage. So in the summer, they're, the browns and the whites and grays and stuff, they kind of blend in. And then in the winter, they go to pure white,
most people have
seen
those in photos rather than the summer shots, right?
That's right. Yeah. So they're the only land mammal native to Svalbard.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's the only one. And they can endure temperatures down to minus 40 degrees Celsius.
Jeez.
So crazy survivors, but they're tiny, but
it's crazy. They don't have hand warmers either.
No kidding. Right. But you often see them in those temperatures, they're curled up into a ball. They're conserving energy, the wind, everything. Right. So, but they're little, you can kind of tell from the photos, but they're only 3 to 5 kilograms.
Yeah, they're not the same size of a regular red fox, right? They're a lot smaller. Yeah,
and they cover a huge distance. They're just scavenging, right, and hunting.
Yeah,
right? So
for sure.
But opportunist feeders, they'll eat everything from lemmings and seabirds to seal scraps left over by polar bears, or even I've got a shot of it was so funny to watch this guy because it had a barnacle goose. It was eating parts of it, and then it would take the biggest part of the barnacle goose, the full body, and then with it in its mouth, it would try and pick up the smaller pieces at the same time. They're and it kept falling out and everything, but it was just as big as him. It was so fun to watch, right?
That's hilarious.
But here's the coolest thing too. They're very family focused, so their dens can be hundreds of years old.
Oh, wow.
And reused by generations of foxes.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I thought that was really cool.
That's neat.
So one of that was certainly on my bucket list. And the other one was the Svalbard Reindeer. So I got to see them in their velvet, right?
Nice.
And man, do they blend. I tell you, I was scanning them with my binoculars all along the Scree slopes and the rock slopes and the grass and stuff. And I just could not find them. And all of a sudden something moved while I was glassing. I'm like, what? That's how well they blended at that distance, right?
Jeez.
But again, just like any type of animal, once you know what you're looking for,
right,
then it's easier to find because that's right. Because at this time here, I had no idea what to really expect coloration.
No,
I had an idea for that, but to actually see it out there, and then and then I was able to to find them, right? So
sure,
But so some quick facts: unique subspecies found only in Svalbard. They have shorter legs and stockier than other reindeer, but they're built for the cold, right? Thick, dense fur and a rounded body to help conserve heat, right?
Sure.
Slow and low diet, or low and slow diet, however you want to say it. So they basically graze on mosses and lichen and grasses, often pawing through snow to reach food, just like caribou up in Newfoundland, right? So,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Small but tough. So adults can weigh up to, it says 65 to 90 kilometers. 65 to 90 kilometers.
Really?
Yeah.
That's how much they weigh. Okay.
Kilograms.
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 Good to know.
But yet they survive some of the harshest winters, of course, out there, right? So,
for sure.
But they're pretty tame.
Are they?
They're usually unusually tame compared to mainland reindeer, right? So they were easy enough to approach in the sense that in the vehicle again. They were. Yeah, I mean, my first Svalbard reindeer encounter was when I opened the blinds after my 10-hour sleep to see a big bull walking through town. You know what I mean? So I was like,
they're not concerned about anything. Okay.
No. So it was quite funny, but I did get them out there in the wild, up in the slopes and the grass and stuff like that. Right?
Nice.
But it's super cool. So
it's good you got to see them. I mean, when you're glassing, you had to, stop looking for the red glowing nose, right?
You're not going to let up on this whole reindeer stuff, eh? Rudolph.
Come on, man. You were close
I'm
to
sure,
the North
you know
Pole.
what?
Like, come on.
Let me guess. I bet you can Photoshop a red nose pretty easy on that, right?
Yeah, or on you.
Yeah, exactly. Remember, I get to see these videos before they go out.
Oh,
mind you, I wouldn't be able to edit whatever you did, but I get to see it coming, right?
That's true. So no, it's cool. You got to see them in the wild as well, because it's one thing to see them in town, but really to see them in the wild, that's pretty cool.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and there was the cow with her calves, and a couple of big bulls.
Nice.
And it was really cool. Found a couple of kills. Whether they were winter kills or polar bear kill, whatever it was, I'm not sure, but kind of neat to see that, right? So
nice.
Now the landscape,
okay.
I did take landscape images in and around the Longyearbyen too. Showing some of the homes, the very colorful homes in amongst the landscape, which was really cool. But the landscape out there near the ice and the glaciers, blow your mind. Absolutely blow your mind. These images, they have that ancient blue color, got to see them calving, so.
Oh, you did? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And I got video and photo because I was trying to predict it's hard to predict, but basically when one piece started to calve, like fall off, I was taking photos and then I switched the video hoping another piece would come off or something that. So I did get both. But just crazy blue. We did have an amazing photo shoot up. So the guides wanted to take us to this glacier. The glacier face was 180 kilometers long.
Wow.
Okay. And they took us there about midnight. So
did you see the whole thing?
Well, I asked them, are we going to just like putt along to see it? And they kind of had a chuckle. But this glacier had waterfalls coming off. And again, guides are amazing. They put us in a position where the light was just golden. Like it was just,
I see.
This thing is going to be probably a 7 or an 8 foot metal print in my home because
is that good? The colors.
It was just absolutely stunning. So, but that, glaciers, calving, just some of the landscape stuff, photos and videos of, the waterfalls coming off some of these glaciers.
Sure.
The blue, we got to see a few like ice caves. So I got a shot where the different layers of blue, like from dark to light with a few birds and that kind of stuff. So absolutely insane, man.
So you think landscapes, off the ship, it's like just vast sea ice and whatnot, but there's so much other to see by the sounds.
Yeah. So, I mean, I did get some cool stuff. I actually converted some of these images to black and white. So, like from Longyearbyen, there's a lot of sailboats and ships and everything coming through. So I did take some photos of that, a lot of it to show scale, but, had amazing dark skies and stuff. So I got a few of those images to show too.
Nice.
Did some handheld panos. So I was able to do, of course, when you're shooting a pano, you should always shoot vertically, right?
Correct.
And stitch them that way so you got more information.
That's right. Yeah.
But and the ship's moving a little bit, so I'm like, okay. And then so a hand in front of the first frame,
the image is
and then and you're just trying as much as you can, right?
Yeah,
so
fair enough.
I would take a photo of my hand. So I knew where it started, do a bunch, and then hand to end. And then when I got home, I was able to get some pretty
stitch these photos. Fair
stitch
enough.
the photos.
Yeah.
And then the vastness of it too. There was one of these big cruise ships, they probably take hundreds of people on, just a massive ship. So I took some environmental images to show the scale. So when you see this one, it's crazy. Like it's just crazy to see or to get an idea of how fast the fjords are or how massive the fjords are, right?
Oh, so, I see. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So, and then, so I stitched a few panos like this one here, color and black and white. So, but
beautiful.
Yeah. So other than that, I mean, talk about the ship really quick, the Zodiacs, we did talk about Zodiacs. These weren't in fact Zodiacs. These ones here were similar to the Zodiacs, but they're not inflatable. Okay, so these are made out of a tough plastic, like polyethylene plastic,
like
right?
fiberglass or something, or like,
no, plastic. Yeah, it was a really hard plastic, but not fabric like pontoons, right?
Yeah.
But they're extremely durable and safe around ice. So if you can imagine a really hard plastic,
it's not going to puncture or anything like that.
No, nothing like that.
Okay,
and they're used widely, in the Arctic operations.
Okay.
But they provide stability and reliability for wildlife viewing and shore landings and stuff.
Sure.
So throw up a pic of that.
Was it like benches and stuff like that you could sit on?
Or no. So here's the beauty part of this was that because there's only 12 photographers, 2 Zodiacs, 6 people per boat, 3 per side. That's it. So, nice. You could shoot across each other or shoot behind you. So there's really no lost opportunities to shoot. So
that's good.
That's the beauty part. Nice. And that'll be the beauty part of the workshop too, is it's going to be a max of 6 per boat.
Great.
With, the guides. So amazing. It was really cool. Really cool experience, and that they took us to the bird cliffs and then to the walruses. Right. So
nice. That's awesome.
But really cool. So the journey home, our guide sat us down, brought up radar, and he goes, okay, see this? He basically said, this is like hurricane, short of hurricane weather. So we're heading home a little early and we're going to go this way. We're going to come this way and stuff. So that's the importance of guides and captains and, all the electronics, and stuff. So
it's still going to be bumpy. This is gust, by the way. This is not average wind. This is gust. It's still going to be a bit sporty, especially here, because it's always sporty here. But it's doable.
It was quite funny, but and then we made the journey home, and we went through certain fjords and looked for more birds and hoping to find some other wildlife, but we didn't. And of course, that's all part of wildlife photography. But just the scenery itself was mind blowing.
Oh, exactly.
And
I can't imagine.
Made our way back to port and had a nice dinner that evening, and the following morning had a breakfast, said our goodbyes, and off we went. So
so you were with the group then for that last day too, and off the boat.
Well, so breakfast was on the ship. So we all had breakfast on the ship and said our goodbyes. And then at the end we had a big group photo in front of the ship, and then that was it. Made the journey home. So of course all my luggage made it on the way home.
It did. Why couldn't it have been the opposite, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Or not at all would have been better, but
exactly. So but camera settings, you know what?
Yeah,
it wasn't all that different. I packed light. Okay, so I brought a 24-70 for the environmental stuff, a 1-400 for the mid range, and a 500 with teleconverters. That was it.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Enough.
I brought 4 terabytes of memory cards. I brought 8 batteries. Totally overkill. You could have got away with 4. Basically, because it is summer, you're not dealing in -20 shooting for 10 hours out there.
You're not killing batteries due to the cold. Yeah.
And realistically, if you're, you got a couple batteries on you up top, and then you could be charging batteries down below. You know what I mean?
So there's no issues with everybody charging batteries at the same time?
Oh no, we all had, we bunked up 2 per cabin.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So for me, another tip while traveling is bringing a power bar. So I had the power converter that I plugged in, and then I plugged in my power bar. So I had 8 slots or whatever it was. And then I had all my chargers going for my Osmos Pocket 3, my cameras, my GoPro, you know what I mean? So I was able to charge everything at the same time.
But it wasn't an issue with everybody charging stuff. They had enough power to help out. And so you did need an adapter though, because it's a different power conversion over there. I see.
That's right. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I got them cheap. There was two for $20 or 30, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Off Amazon or whatever. So yeah.
Nice. Good to know. Cool.
And then I did bring my SSDs for backup. So at the end of every big shoot, because I brought my laptop, I would do backup to 2 external SSD drives, and then reformat my cards and go.
So it's kind of like normal, I guess, right?
That's all it was. It was very normal. But I panicked near the end because I was short. I I only had 60 gigabytes of storage left out of 4
Oh my
terabytes.
goodness.
But I should explain 4 terabytes, but those 4 terabytes of data were double, right? You know what I mean? So I technically brought 8 terabytes of external drives, but because I backed up to 2 drives at a time, it was only
them.
cloning them.
Yeah.
But if I needed to, I would have just taken one, reformatted, and
Fair
backed
enough,
up there. I wouldn't have, or put it onto my laptop. My laptop's a 4 terabyte drive. I mean, a hard drive, so I could have done that. But I was getting close. You know what I mean?
You could always, you probably have enough SD cards or whatever that you could probably, or memory cards, I guess, that you could probably keep them on the cards. Even,
and I could have just left them on the card too. Yeah, for sure. So it wasn't a panic situation, but it was a situation what I wouldn't be able to normally do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, fair enough. Cool.
But
when you were carrying it, when you were out there on the ship, were you did you always have were you thinking landscape or environmental and telephoto? So did you have 2 cameras going? One with
always 2 cameras going, and it wasn't extreme weather, so I had my camera bag out there, and I had one to 400 in one body, 500 on the other, and it was just depending on the wildlife. It was easy enough to put the 24-70 on.
Exactly. Yeah.
But unless it was like waves crashing over or, rain or something, I left my cameras out there 24/7.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to acclimate to the current temperatures, which sometimes it was 0, -1, -2. And I didn't want to bring them into a cabin
in
that
and
was
out,
20, at 20 Celsius, right? 18 or 20.
Exactly.
So I just left them out there. Most of the people did. Nothing to worry about. I'd take out my batteries and bring in my memory cards and just left it. And that was basically the whole trip. Unless the guide said, okay, hey, we're getting into some rough water or, it's raining or sleet, whatever it was, then we bring them in at a safety, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, just in case.
Easy.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
But basically standard camera settings, seriously, it was not... polar bear stuff, white bears, white snow, that kind of stuff, +1, +1.5 for exposure comp.
Yeah.
If the sun did pop out, there was a little bright, well, then I'd dial it down so I didn't blow the highlights out. And then in post, I would just adjust the underexposure a little bit. You know what I mean? I just didn't want really harsh highlights,
Okay. Yeah.
And again, everything was on AI servo. 20 frames per second, auto ISO, evaluative metering. Animal eye detect. The only thing different I did was, my polar bear stuff was maybe 1/500 to 1/1000th of a second, somewhere in there. If the light dictated, though, if my ISO didn't get pushed up too high, because I shoot manual with auto ISO, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we both do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would always try and get the fastest shutter speed possible,
For sure.
But
especially probably on the Zodiac or whatever you call those boats, right?
You had to. And if I got up to 1600, 2500, 3200 ISO, 5, whatever, I would deal with it in post later. And I did.
As fast shutter speed as possible.
It was flawless.
And those birds, right? All that kind of stuff.
That's right. So I was just going to say, I'd be up to 1/2500 and 1/3000th of a second or 1/4000th of a second if the light
catch the action. Yeah.
But that was it. There wasn't anything super challenging about camera settings. Other than
so it's really the same scenario, but you're on a ship.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, you're just hand holding. So you didn't have the stability of the tripod, but you did want the fastest shutter speed possible, because if those polar bears, jumped from ice flow to ice flow, you wanted to capture that, or
for sure,
swimming, or if we did get that opportunity, we did have an opportunity watching a younger bear, kept popping up, looking, and we could see the seal over here and the bear there. And the guide said he was certainly a young, inexperienced hunter, but he was only about halfway before he started running. And all the steel did was I see you, buddy. And he was gone. You know what I mean? But you got to be ready for the action. So you want a high enough shutter speed. So that's about the only thing I was really changing was, I was adjusting the shutter speed and watching the ISO and exposure comp. Okay. That was it.
What about video? Were you, I do a lot of handheld video. Were you kind of doing the same thing on the boat?
All handheld video.
You didn't have a tripod or anything on the boat, right?
Yeah. No, 120 frames per second. That's everything was shot in 120. That was it.
Well, the cool thing about 120 frames per second is that, if there is any motion, it kind of dampens the motion a little bit,
helps,
right? So
yeah.
it sure
I was
helps,
really
for sure.
surprised at how well that worked.
It's not as jarring to the eye. With that movement,
24
right?
frames per second. It looked like I was like this.
Yeah,
sometimes
right.
I'm like, no, it's not that bad. You know what I mean? But
yeah, fair enough.
So as far as the tripod goes, a few people brought a tripod with a gimbal, and I mean, when the boat stopped, you could certainly use it, for stability and that. I brought my tripod with the ball head, just in case. I didn't want to bring my gimbal or a video head. And the only time I really used it was as more of a camera rest, because I was hand holding the whole time. I was just I'd plop it on, and then when the boat was steady, I would just kind of loosen things up, and I was using it like a gimbal, shooting, go to verticals and stuff like that. And then
even that monopod we tested might have been handy for that situation.
Yeah,
just a rest, right? Yeah.
But honestly, though, you were hand holding most of it, or if the ship wasn't moving, you could rest it on the side of the ship or whatever it was on your camera bag on some of the lower levels where we could shoot out.
Sure.
You could put the camera bag down. So,
but
other than that, that was about it. I mean,
okay, cool.
Some of the challenges, like I already mentioned, some motion, but you dealt with that. We didn't have a whole lot of wind and cold exposure, which was perfect. Like salt spray, didn't have it. I mean, the times that it got a little bit rough, we weren't even out there because we're basically going from one place to the next. You know what I mean? It wasn't really a photo op. It was like, okay, we have to travel 6 hours to get from here to there. Everybody goes have a sleep if you want, edit, grab some food. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
The foggy stuff, the low light stuff. Well, I mean, the hardest part about that is making sure the image is focused, is sharp.
Yeah.
And then, you got to play with the exposure comp a little, but low contrast stuff like that isn't all that hard to expose.
Sure. Yeah.
And I don't know, composition, standard bear stuff, environmental stuff, taking in the grand landscape in the sky or, close up if you can, that kind of stuff.
A lot of the time when we're shooting wildlife, we want to get as low as possible to make the, the animal look, quite large and quite, I'm curious because you're up on the ship, you're more shooting down, but because it was at a distance, it probably wasn't that much of an issue, was it?
Well, you look at some of this stuff and it looks like it was ground level.
Right. Yeah. Because you're so far away.
There was a one spot on the ship. So here's the bow and it kind of went like this. And there was a low spot where you could fit about 5 photographers. Then just above them, there was a rail and then you could fit more. So when they were a little bit closer, we all tried to get down low and shot across, which really helped.
Yeah. Otherwise it looked more down, but because it did out a little bit.
I mean, those are cool perspectives too, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Those would be actually cool, environmentals like that, right? So you can get, see a little bit more at the distance too from that level. So, and see
just
more,
pointing down,
more ice, right?
The water, the ice, the bears, the sky, all that kind of stuff, right? So it was cool.
And I'm curious, you were talking also about copying all the files over and duplicating things after a big shoot kind of thing. Mm-hmm. How did you handle it? Because you mentioned at the beginning, you had so many hours of sunlight in the day. You're probably going to be woken up or whatever from your sleep every single time the guys saw something, I'm assuming, right? Throughout the day. How did that work? Because even when you're sleeping, I think you had told me before, you get a few hours sleep and then maybe you see something, now you're back up again. So how did that scenario go?
Oh, it messed with your rhythm. You know what I mean? But you took whatever opportunity you could to sleep. So one of the challenges were long hours, because we had wildlife encounters that lasted 10, 12 hours. And I don't mean right there, amazing. But we'd go away and then be like, oh my God, here's another bear. So there's no sleep or rest in between. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
You're there for a reason. You want to capture it for sure.
And that's it. And then you'd crash or whatever. And then, there'd be a bunch of us that we didn't even go to bed. We'd be up in the lounge and we'd have a coffee or eating food. And then we'd pass out. And there'd be a bunch of us all sleeping, and then there was a couple people snoring, and we're just just leave them be because they're exhausted, right? Having fun with that, and you just did the best you can, right? Just
very cool.
It was
that's awesome.
It was really cool. So I don't know, man. The trip was just
a trip of a lifetime.
It was. It was. It's one of those places where if you're a wildlife photographer. Or just a nature photographer in general.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, it's something you need to see. So so for those of you interested, I'm just going to pitch it one more time.
Yeah, go for it, man.
I have the workshop next year from July 21st to 31st, 2026, and there's only 2 spots left. So
at the time of recording,
the time of recording, which is November 5th.
Yeah, there you go.
So it's the response has been overwhelming. Actually, guys, the response has been very overwhelming with all of you, and I can't thank you enough. I mean, my Churchill one, it was under 4 weeks, sold out that fast for 2026. I have a wait list for that one, and Svalbard, there's only 2 left. So,
and will you have a wait list for that one too if it sells out, or
it'll be certainly add a wait list, but hoping to do it again in 2027. So
great.
We'll start taking names for that one too, right? So
super cool. Good for you.
But yeah, just an amazing time, guys. I mean, I don't even know what else to say. It was, a place you got to visit. So
I was gonna say, if you want to experience everything that stuff that you've seen, you gotta go on Joe's trip. That sounds like it's an amazing thing to see. So what an experience!
That's pretty cool. So again, guys, appreciate it, and we appreciate you guys watching the Nature Photo Guys. Everybody on board, subscribe to our channel.
Oh, perfect, good.
And we're all friends now, and we have a WhatsApp chat. And we keep sharing photos on WhatsApp, and it's just cool. It's great. So I hope I get to see these guys, sometime in the future. Maybe we're on a different trip or something like that, right? So,
well, that's the cool part about these workshops, right? And photo tours in general or whatever. You're the same like-minded people together, spending time together. You're not only there for the experience, but you're also gaining a lot of friends out of this. It's pretty cool. So
it is. It's been incredible. Awesome. So. Good. So thanks again, guys. Thanks for watching this episode of the Nature Photo Guys podcast, and we will catch you in the next one.
Thanks for watching.
Before we wrap up, we'd like to thank the Camera Store for supporting the Nature Photo Guys podcast.
They're a legendary name in photography, and their support helps us keep bringing you these episodes.
Don't forget to check them out at thecamerastore.com for all your photography and video needs.
Thanks for joining us on the Nature Photo Guys podcast. If you have any questions, contact us at info@thenaturePhotoGuys.ca or message us on Facebook and Instagram at the Nature Photo Guys podcast. Visit YouTube and subscribe to our channel to watch all our latest videos. Or follow and listen to our latest podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or on our website at thenaturePhotoGuys.ca. We'll catch you next time on the Nature Photo Guys podcast.